HBO's Westworld is a huge modern hit, but the series' origins can actually be directly traced back more than 40 years to the sci-fi cinema of the 1970s and to co-creator Jonathan Nolan's past stories on artificial intelligence and his fascination with video games. This is the Secret Origin of Westworld.
Old Bill here was always a good listener. He was the second host we ever built.
The concept of Westworld dates back to the cynical streak of science fiction that dominated the late 60s and early 70s. These films predicted a dark and dire future for humankind that tracked with the overall attitude of the era. Events like the Vietnam War and Watergate had taken a toll on public consciousness, and the sci-fi cinema of the era reflected this. One of these films was The Andromeda Strain, a tale of an alien microorganism that threatens to wipe out all of mankind. The movie was based on a novel by Michael Crichton, a Harvard Medical School grad. It was his first major hit, opening the door for a career that would spawn Jurassic Park, Congo, and several more best-selling sci-fi thrillers. Soon, though, Crichton also revealed a keen interest in filmmaking. Crichton made his directorial debut just a few years later with Westworld, a thriller about a futuristic Western-themed amusement park filled with malfunctioning, murderous androids. It's not based on a Crichton novel. He wrote the script directly for the film. Westworld was supposed to be a theme park to let people live out their wildest Old West fantasies, but eventually everything goes wrong.
Sir, we have no control over the robots at all.
The movie leaves it up to audiences to decide why the malfunction happens. The AI in other movies, such as Colossus the Forbidden Project, took over the world expressly to protect mankind, whether they liked it or not. It's never clear why Westworld's robots go berserk. There's a clear comparison to 2001's homicidal computer HAL 9000. Is it simply a glitch that drives robots like Yul Brynner's Gunslinger to kill, or have they gained sentience? Are these androids rebelling against the unending cruelty of their masters? What are the implications of creating these beings? These questions are left for the viewer to ponder.
Boy, have we got a vacation for you, vacation for you, for you, for you.
The film was well received, but perhaps its biggest impact was in its depiction of the Gunslinger. The character was created as an ode to Brynner's classic Western identity from the Magnificent Seven. But with its glowing eyes, steady pace, and single-minded determination, it's also a clear forerunner to the Terminator. Halloween director John Carpenter has also said the indestructible Michael Myers was inspired by the Gunslinger, and of course, Halloween itself spawned many a slow-walking, undying slasher killer. There are several more emerging sci-fi tropes in the film that would become genre staples in the years that followed. Its vaguely corrupt corporation Delos hit the same year as the up-to-no-good company in Soylent Green. And it predates the likes of Omni Consumer Products, the Tyrell Corporation, and Weyland-Yutani by years. Additionally, a computer virus is raised as a possible reason for the Westworld malfunction, which in 1973 was a much more novel concept. And the film is also said to be the first use of digital image processing in a Hollywood movie. The robot point of view was modified to appear pixelated, which may look familiar to Terminator fans. In the years that followed, additional attempts were made to capitalize on Westworld's success. The sequel, Future World, came without Crichton's involvement and was poorly received. Still, the film's perhaps most notable for taking another step forward for computer-generated imagery in movies. It's the first feature to use 3D CGI in a brief sequence depicting a computer image created by Ed Catmull, who would go on to be president of Pixar and Walt Disney Animation Studios. A TV series, Beyond Westworld, followed in 1980, but only aired for 3 episodes before getting axed. But surely the most successful continuation of the Westworld concept was and is Crichton's Jurassic Park. While the series isn't about murderous robots overtaking a theme park, it is about artificially created dinosaurs overtaking a theme park. In some ways, Westworld feels like a first draft of the dinosaur series. While one is about robots and the other raptors, at the core of both you still have perfectly designed systems that go awry, the pursuit of profits leading to mayhem, and subjugated creatures rebelling.
It's a dinosaur.
The Westworld name would lay dormant for more than 30 years until Jonathan Nolan and the brand new HBO series. He's the brother of filmmaker Christopher Nolan, and the pair have co-written several films. Two of these movies feel like direct predecessors to Nolan's Westworld. The sci-fi opus Interstellar features two strong AI characters, though they're loyal and lovable to their humans, the opposite of Westworld's androids. And The Prestige is very concerned with the notion of illusion. As more and more modern films pose increasingly complicated questions about AI, a long-form TV series about the topic was ripe for exploration. Whether it truly is or not, real AI feels like a technology that's just around the corner. Nolan also created the CBS series Person of Interest before resurrecting Westworld. The show depicted an artificial intelligence that watched our every move and could outthink us at every turn. Eventually, a second, more ominous AI was introduced, setting up the idea that these beings can be good or evil. Obviously, this is a concept that's coming into play in Westworld 2.
You're always paying for it, darling. And the difference is our costs are fixed and posted right there on the door.
Nolan's interest in video games, and in particular open-world games, also plays directly into his depiction of this reimagined Westworld, and his desire to create the show in the first place. It was the idea of life evermore beginning to resemble a game, Nolan recently told IGN. You could get to a point where you live, as a lot of people do, a significant portion of your life in a fantasy universe. Not a real world, but a curated world. One that's distinct from the real world because there's intention there. There are rules. But in a game universe, there's always deeper levels of meaning. To find out what those deeper levels are, we'll just have to continue watching Westworld.
I saw the new gestures, the reveries, and beautiful. The distance you've traveled from then till now, it's remarkable.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Thank you for going down the rabbit hole with us and finding out just how influential the original Westworld actually was, and learning more about where the new series is drawing its inspiration. While you're here, be sure to check out more Secret Origins with the Secret Origin of Dark Souls, and don't miss our closer look at the Westworld VR experience and our thoughts on why the show is going to be the next Game of Thrones. For all things Westworld, keep it right here on IGN.